You think your story starts where memory begins. But for 2 to 4 years you walked, talked, loved, and learned the rules of being human, and remember almost none of it. You weren't asleep. Your brain was wide awake, recording everything. So how does a working brain erase years of its own life? Picture your brain doubling in size in 1 year. 1,000,000 new connections every second. Faces, smells, voices pouring in with no you, yet to hold on to them. To understand why it vanished, we need to know what memory actually needs. Over 100 years ago, Sigmund Freud noticed something strange. Adults couldn't recall their earliest years. He called it infantile amnesia. But Freud thought we hid those memories on purpose, locking away painful feelings. He was wrong. Modern science found a different answer, one about brain building, not buried secrets. Psychologist Patricia Bauer studied young kids, asking them about events soon after they happened. The memories were there, clear and detailed. But when researchers came back years later, something odd happened. The memories hadn't faded slowly. They were just gone, like someone had cut the tape. Carol Peterson found the same pattern. Most of this loss happens before age 7, in one sharp drop, not a slow fade. It wasn't repression. It was something built into how a young brain works. The answer sits inside the hippocampus, the part of the brain that files memories away for the long term. In early childhood, this structure is still being built. It keeps growing new brain cells, a process called neurogenesis. Simply put, neurogenesis means the brain is constantly making fresh neurons. Here's the problem. Those new cells don't just join the team. They push into spaces where memory circuits are trying to form, breaking the wiring before it can lock in. Think of a library still under construction. Workers shelve books one day, then tear down those same shelves the next, before anyone builds a catalog to find them again. This explains something else, too. Young children live so fully in the present moment, not because they choose to, but because their brain has no working system yet to file that moment away. Memory doesn't switch on overnight. It builds slowly, piece by piece. Around age 2 or 3, kids start using language in a new way. They string events into stories. That skill becomes a tool, giving loose moments a shape that's easier to hold on to. At the same time, something else is forming. A sense of self. A child starts to understand that they are a person with a past, not just a body reacting to the moment. Now memories have somewhere to land. Culture shapes this too. Researchers compared families who talk often about the past with families who don't. Kids who heard more storytelling and reminiscing held on to earlier memories than kids who didn't. Slowly, the gaps close. By age 6 or 7, something shifts. The curtain that hid those early years starts to fall away, and a steady, ongoing memory of life finally begins. At some point, memory stops being scattered flashes of light and sound. It becomes a story you can tell. Instead of just a feeling or an image, a child can finally say, "I remember when." Researchers have found a pattern in these first memories. They almost never come from ordinary days. They come from moments that broke routine. A fall, a fright, a birthday, a goodbye. Something strong enough to grab the brain's attention and hold it. That moment is the brain's first successful save file. Not a perfect recording, but a real one. The first memory that survives, the first piece of a life that finally sticks. Here's the cost of all this brain building. An entire era of your life is gone with no way to check it. The people who held you, the voices you heard first, the fears and the feelings of safety that got wired into you before you ever had a way to record them. That means a part of you, right now, is running on instructions you can't read. Why do you flinch at certain things? Why some places feel safe and others don't? Why trust comes easy with some people and hard with others? Some of that may trace back to a moment in your life you can never pull up and examine. You're not fully in control of the whole story. An early version of you wrote some of the rules, and that version left no notes behind. This is why some feelings in adulthood seem to come from nowhere. A sudden fear with no clear cause. A strange comfort in certain smells or sounds. a pull toward closeness or a flinch away from it, in relationships that otherwise make no sense on paper. These feelings may be implicit memories, not stored in the hippocampus where story-based memories live, but in the amygdala, the brain's center for emotion. The amygdala forms early and holds on tight. It just can't hand you a story to go with the feeling. So you carry the emotion without the explanation, the fear without the moment that caused it, the comfort without the memory of who gave it to you first. Not a flaw, just an old system, still running quietly underneath the new one. Step back and this stops looking like a flaw. It looks like a trade. In the first years of life, survival doesn't depend on remembering events. It depends on learning fast, language, faces, danger, safety, and bonding hard with the people who keep you alive. A brain built for memory storage would be too slow for that job. So evolution picked speed over record keeping. This isn't the only part of you built this way. Instincts, gut reactions, quick judgments about people and danger, much of that runs the same way. Built early, working constantly, completely out of reach of conscious thought. You like to believe you make choices by thinking them through. But a good amount of your mind was shaped long before thinking was even possible, and it's still steering more than you realize. Somewhere in your forgotten years is the first time someone held you. The first word you ever understood. The first fear that ever took root in you. None of it survived as a memory. All of it survived as you. You don't remember being born. But everything you are was built in the years you can't recall. You're not missing those years. You're made of them,